Hi everybody, I rescued my noodles and I have some ideas about doing a video on my business, medical business channel, and I'm thinking about the brain, the Broca's area and the Wernicke's area and the different lobes and my disabilities. So I was thinking about my language, especially last night. Yesterday was super tiring, and at a certain time I had problems saying things. I do this occasionally. I get stumped during a visit, and like a patient visit, and then I'm just like, and then even during the same visit, I'll be like spouting stuff off like I'm a professor, and teaching it from memory, because everything I do during my appointments is from memory. Every single, like, I don't see a patient, I don't know why they're in, what medical conditions they have, you know what I mean? But prior, sometimes I know beforehand, and unfortunately, the people that I know beforehand, I try to do some homework, and usually those are the ones that don't make an appointment or don't follow through with the appointment. I'll even get people's labs, and I'll make diagrams and charts, so I'll be super prepared. I have other people that make appointments an hour before their appointment time when I'm traveling across the state, and then they'll complain that I wasn't prepared. And I was like, you didn't even tell me what the appointment was for, and I have other patients that I prepared for. Or so a lot of times if they're new patients, I'm preparing and double checking their insurance. You have to double check everyone's again the same day as appointment, and the paperwork needs to be for my clinic and for all the regulations and rules for your jurisdiction. You need to have certain things in place before you go ahead with that, you know, formal appointment. It's not any kind of phone call or consult. That's not medically, like, where I'm going to diagnose, treat, and give the actual treatment plan and give medical advice, professional advice to people. And I'm having a hard time with the insurance. I'm trying to decide if I want to shut off and say, no, I'm not taking new patients. I'm trying to decide because I don't have a lot of return patients. So people are being really cheap. If they knew how much their regular doctors and how much we're supposed to make per hour, the minimal payments that they pay for their out-of-pocket costs, if they knew what everybody's making, that they would see the actual value in the visits, and they would see the value in the provider, because insurance is going to pay lower than a lot of cash paid places, and so they don't even know unless they've gone to a place prior to their, like, nurse practitioner and primary care clinic. Or I don't see a lot of MDs and DOs doing primary care. I just don't see, they're there. I don't see them. CPAs and NPs. So thinking about my brain, what's wrong with my brain, I was thinking, why did I do so well in medical school? Why did I do so well in undergrad? I know when I got clean and sober, I did go back to school while I was still considered homeless, and I did that for several years. And I was eating a lot of chocolate, dark chocolate. It got darker and darker until I was home making it myself, and I was the one making the double boiler, low temperature chocolates with cocoa paste, raw cacao paste, and I was doing a lot with the was it the Nativas? I don't know if that's what it's called. With the brown package that has the non-alkalized raw cocoa powder. I was using those products, and I was buying the Soul, these cute little, like, you never have a chocolate where it's kind of like, it's not like when you get Valentine's chocolate and it's like thick and it tastes like too much milk powder, and I don't know, it just tastes like, it's alright, but it's kind of burned your tongue. Like, this one's delicate, like lace almost. Like, it's a bar and it's smooth. Oh my gosh, I think they had orange, they had cayenne, or I love the cayenne chocolate, and they had goji, because I always wanted to do the goji berry for when I was first doing acupuncture. They had um, told me about the goji berries, so I was trying to get those as antioxidants and all that. Use the Chinese medicine herbalism, so the providers will be able to provide you certain degrees. The school that I went to, I was doing Chinese medicine. You could do the MSLM, which would be the Master Science Oriental Medicine, and that would have the being able to make the herbal formulations, and then they'd have the LAC or the MAC program, Masters Acupuncture, which wouldn't you'd include herbs and knowing about the herbs, but it didn't give you the ability with your license to formulate herbal formulas. Last I checked, but you could use pre-made products, which is kind of hard because some people don't or cannot have certain ingredients. So I don't know. I figured that I do what I could and prioritize the naturopathic because I can prescribe the herbs and I have the ability to have people make the teas themselves based on the condition, and it's kind of a recipe like I'm gonna say like an upside down pyramid, upside down triangle, where it's like you could have something really strong on the bottom and you only use a little bit. Something that's the bulk or maybe the taste could be you use the most of it. Depending on every situation is different. That's why it's hard to say. But I like to throw out trying to figure myself out, especially noticing this ear ringing also that's gotten worse and worse over the years. And I just had my head on the pillow and it was ringing so loud it was unbearable. And I had the sound machine, or I don't have the sound machine on today, but I had this filter on and this filter on. I think that filter's on. There's a lot of ambient noise. So imagine when you're alone in the woods, or like when it's quiet, or you have sleep where all the sound machines go off, you're not able to function. Or even when there's background like white noise to try to distract yourself from this ringing and this dizziness and this like woo woo woo, and then this pulse boom 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 boom, like all this stuff is going on over here. And imagine me sitting in class, or imagine me sitting with the patient, imagine me doing my reports, and that's going on. And then something pushed you over the edge. Your body is stressed out because, I mean, it's like when airplanes go over. And it's like fire trucks and stuff. It's distracting, and having it go for minutes, days, hours, years, indefinitely, people did not survive because they couldn't handle it. And my doctor that I've been referred to is blowing off this ear thing. Like, oh, so I will tell you one thing. They did say to use a mouth guard, and I have it in the bathroom, and I need to put it in the microwave to soften it and to size it for my mouth. So I will commit. And when that thing works, I will let you guys know that that thing worked and that I take it back for my doctor ignoring me because I didn't pay attention to the treatment plan. And I already had that before they gave me that treatment plan. I already had that because people, I say I clench my jaw and all this. But there's a lot of congestion here and severe pain. Not childbirth pain, but getting close, like if automobile accident, in which they tried to tell me that I was lying all day, every day, and it's not just here, it's like my jaw, it's my whole shoulder area, my shoulder, my back. I used to have my muscles all like this, pulsating all the time after that accident, and then cramping up in my feet, and then had my feet going numb sometimes. Thank God it's not that intense, but could you imagine just sitting there and you're at work and your body is like twitching like crazy because it's been injured, it's been damaged. And I was having to take supplements just to even get through the day. I had to go to chiropractor. I think I could only go once a week, and getting to that day before the appointment and 2 days before the appointment, the day of the appointment, it's like I could barely walk. I had to humble myself and get myself to the vehicle and get to the appointment. And it wasn't curing things, but it was making it so that I could drive and work and take care of my family. And then the funding, the car insurance did not want to pay, and I had thousands of dollars of bills because I couldn't work. And they had referred me to see a specialist to do the partial disability due to the car accident. And I couldn't go the first time because they didn't call me back. The specialist didn't call me back that I was referred to. So I was trying to figure out how could I get sent to another place, but the funding ran out, and the insurance policy refused to pay, let's say it that way. And I would go to work. Sometimes I was only working 4 hours for a week, 20 hours a week, 20 to 24 hours a week for one person. But I was also attending births and running my own clinic. So for that one job, it was 4 hours a day, 8 hours on Friday. And it took all my strength to get up, get in the shower, get dressed, and get to work. And then I did my work the best I could, which I did have doctor's notes for accommodations, for sit, stand, as needed. I was supposed to be able to drink water and take my minerals or eat a banana because it, helped. But they started banning it, no food or drink at all. Because they used to have the office, within the office of this. The lab where you do the blood stuff was one area, and where you drew the blood was another area. There was another room in there that was no blood. And they would have us keep our lunch and our drink so you could go and slurp on your water bottle and, and go back and wash your hands. And there was a sink right there, and then go back to your work. Wash your hands before, drink your drink. You know what I mean? Workplaces usually have it where you could somehow at least use a straw or whatever to drink some water and be able to use the bathroom. They wouldn't even let us use the bathroom anymore. And they wouldn't let us eat. And then I ate once and followed my doctor's directions out on the bench. There was no patients, and it was a 15-minute break, and I think they said we're not allowed to do that. So it was a nightmare. There's a lunchroom where you go outside, you have 15 minutes, and there was only 2 bathrooms, like 2 stalls, so, in the whole first floor. So for all the employees and all the patients, and people have to do urine screens and stuff, and their self-collects in there. Like, it was stupid. It's like, I think I used to go to a different building to use the bathroom, because there used to be a line all the way down the hallway. It's like, oh, you got a 10-minute or 15-minute break. Your doctor's telling you have to do all this stuff. It's like you're running across the street, which you cannot. I did that when I didn't have the accent, to go use a bathroom in a different building and try to get back at your spot at your computer during that amount of time. It's ridiculous. These places try to blame us, the workers, for the problems, and you could see the system is blatantly obvious that they're causing these problems. I got like lavender flowers floating around in my drink. So I do education as I guess as an addiction. Replace one thing for another, going to college, and so my kids are following suit. And wait, combination, I swear it's going to end up being 100 years. If not 100, like 50, between 50 and 75 years, it's going to end up my immediate family. I swear. I'm going to get my boyfriend going out maybe winter term or something, but maybe spring, summer term. But we have a bunch of classes that I've taken, 17 plus years of higher education, and one of my kids is taking classes I never heard of. And he's trying to work, and I'm thinking, I don't even know, unless you can actually study, work study. I don't know. No, I mean, the only thing I liked about one of my work studies was I was doing a lot of filing and paid office work, and you got a lot of mindlessness, like putting stamps on the envelopes, or using that little tool to wet the envelopes and put them in for the guy to come in and get the mail. So it's hard. That job is hard though, because if you did need to really study, or if you did need to, sometimes it's like a matter of being at a desk so that when customers come in, you can answer their questions, and so you could have time to study. But if you wait that you have a quiz after that class or test, and you need to brush up on some things, I wouldn't wait to that work shift, because it's work study should be work study, but sometimes you take the whole shift and you're running around doing stuff and there's not even a minute of studying. So I'm excited. This week has been a lot with the children and everybody going back to school, and my partner's children's, is it still September? Yeah. In September, probably August, because their younger kids start earlier. So it's been exciting. I'm still doing my loan signing courses, but trying to see if I can put together kind of a simple backbone of the brain stuff that I'm talking about, and then going into a little bit more detail, and then try to slap something together for my other channel, because I keep having on my to-do list to do something, instead of just life check-ins and experiences, to do the actual, like, hey, I mean, I've done it once. Did I do it on homeopathy? I can't remember what I did the topic on. So I've done it like once for this channel. So I try to get it on the, so I have it as towerofhealth1@gmail. I have, and that's the number one. I guess it's time to eat breakfast and get on with the day. I'm supposed to be taking the day off, because I had done a lot of work over the weekend, and I got a word back from someone from Washington, D.C. about my medical license there. I gotta do all the stuff. Like, I gotta get that pumped out. We have, I think it's Friday. So, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think. I feel like it's Saturday, too. So, looming government shutdowns. I feel like we don't know until we know. Until that actual midnight hour. So, I'm trying to tell my family members to get their passports and stuff, because that one sounds a little bit difficult. I mean, you can go to your office, your closest hub, and you can get your passport same day. It's extremely expedited. But I'll talk to my relatives about that. Like, I know my friends went to Seattle before from the Portland metro area, so I assume here would be DC. There's probably some other ones that actually I don't want to talk about. I talked about checking. I think I talked about checking bank cards or checking accounts. So, like, not checking accounts, but actual check your accounts. So I need to check, like, passport and check different things. I think I got it right before I came out here, and it I feel like it came in the mail, because I wasn't gonna really stay out here. I came out here like a month, and I wasn't gonna stay out here because I was gonna go back to work at the Pizza Hut, and then I wasn't on the schedule, and everything fell apart. So I went back and picked up the passport, I think, from my address in Oregon, and then just brought it back with me. So it should be within 4 years. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I heard reports of people getting ready to get on a plane, or when they look at their kids, somebody's passport's expired, and then they're like, expedite. So I feel like people, I knew one of my relatives, and I see things with people that have lighter skin that can squeeze through and get things, and sometimes, like, I try to do the same thing, it's like I'm blocked, and there's no other reason. Get turned away, like, oh, we can't help. Like, every time I go to the, where's the place I keep going, I say, oh, I need this, oh, we can't. I say, listen, I did this, this, and this to set it up so when I come to you, that this is, oh yeah, you're right, we can do that. So I'll get people automatically see me, even if they're people of color, even if they're black, and they'll say, no, we can't, no, you can't, we can't, you can't, and it's like I was trying to use the 2-ounce stamps on I used two 2-ounce stamps on my envelope, and they're like, you can't, you owe money, and I was like, those are not forever stamps. Those are 2-ounce stamps that I bought specifically. Like, you all need to look at this. You need to, not every time you see me, you say no. Or you look at me like, she thinks she's smart. I was like, no, I'm not smart. I spent an hour weighing the envelope and looking up online, seeing what would be the best side. Why don't I have 1-cent stamps? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order some 1-cent stamps I'll pay the shipping too. So look at your cards. I'm in the process of getting ready to shred some old debit and credit cards and hope that I don't accidentally shred, because I get a lot of replacement cards that aren't expired because they'll say, oh, we updated something and we're going to send you this new card. Like the care credit, I need to figure out what is going on with these people and make sure that I have it. And it sounds super complicated. So talk about education, talk about learning, talk about addictions. When I was still actively in addiction, I was studying calculus and languages. And I had a tutor come over teaching my kids French. And I think I hear my cue. Peace, guys. Knowledge is power.